Have you seen polygamy being used to hurt women instead of protecting them? You must have heard men quoting, "We have a right to have 4 wives." But there's a lot of things your favorite Muslim male influencer haven't told you. And we are going to unpack all of those things in this video, including right of the first wife, why polygamy was started, and a big section of this video will be on secret second marriage and how it is completely un-Islamic. You want 4 wives? Great. But first you need to know what polygamy or polygyny means in Islam. It's not a privilege, it's a burden. It's not a playboy fantasy. It is a heavy responsibility.
देखिए इस्लाम ने 4 शादियों का जो कुरान में आया है तो बड़ी स्पेसिफिक एक्स्ट्रॉर्डिनरी सिचुएशन है, ठीक है, कि जंग उहद के बाद आई है, इसलिए 3 सड़कों पे हैं, खवातीन सड़कों पे हैं, सोशल इदारे नहीं हैं उनका टेक केयर करने के लिए, कोई ऐसे इंतजाम नहीं है, तो अल्लाह ने कहा यार ऑर्फन्स का ख्याल करो, ठीक है, और अगर समझते हो नहीं कर सकते तो चलो इनकी माओ से शादी कर लो, चाहे 1, 2, 3 या 4, लेकिन उन्हीं अल्लाह ताला ने आगे फरमाया कि उनमें इंसाफ करो, और बड़ा मुश्किल है कि इंसाफ कर सको तो मैरी ओनली वन, ये भी इसी किताब में लिखा है। तो ये इस अहकाम में अल्लाह ने नहीं 4 शादियां बताई, अल्लाह ताला ने एक्चुअली अरब मुआशरे में इन्फिनिट शादियों का रिवाज था, ठीक है, तो अल्लाह ने कहा अगर ज्यादा भी करनी है तो 4 से ज्यादा ना करना, ठीक है, उसमें भी बेहतर है एक ही।
Best explanation I have heard. I thought I was the only one. Why is it me? Why am I the only one coming up with this interpretation after I read Quran? Because how Allah is talking in Quran about the orphans and how to protect them, and then mention you can marry 1, 2, 3, 4, but if you cannot do justice, marry only one. So what he's saying is that it was a very difficult time. People were displaced. A lot of women were, and young kids without father were displaced. There were no social services. There was no protection for them. They were in a very vulnerable spot. And at that time, this verse came, this whole surah came, and if you cannot take care of kids, you can marry their mothers. This seemed like an added responsibility towards men. So I just don't understand how it became a privilege. And even when it was a responsibility, it has very, very clear instructions. It's not that you just continue to marry all those women. You have to be fair and just among all of them, and you can only marry up to 4. So a lot of men completely dismiss all of this and say, no, we don't have to marry widow, we don't have to marry women with children, we can marry virgins, we can marry young girls. Okay, sure, you go ahead. If you think that's your right, that's your privilege, go ahead. But women have rights too. So let's talk about rights of the first wife that I've not heard a lot of people talk about. 1, she has a right to know that her husband is taking a second wife. And the second wife has a right to know that the husband already has a first wife. 2, she has a right to equal housing, equal emotional support, equal money, equal gifts, equal time, equal nights, and yes, equal vacations. She has a right to leave the marriage if she is not okay with the polygamous situation. She also has a right to put a condition in the marriage contract that she does not want her husband to take a second wife. And if the husband agrees, he's legally and religiously bound. Prophet Muhammad, when he practiced polygamy, he was fully transparent and fair among all his wives. Please comment below if you have seen Muslim men taking second secret marriages. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, secret marriages. They are not sunnah. They stand against the principles of Islam. So what are the core principles of Islam? Let's talk about the foundation first. The foundation of Islam is submission to God. And the core principles are fairness, justice, accountability, intention, mercy, and compassion, and balance. Marrying a second wife without your first wife knowing goes against all the principles of Islam, and it is deceit and betrayal. Quran states, live with your wives in kindness and fairness. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, says, announce your marriages. Also, Quran clearly states that if you are taking multiple wives, how you have to be fair and just among them. Lying to your wife and completely deceiving her is not fair or kind. So don't call it sunnah unless you are doing it like Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, with full transparency and justice. If you want to do anything, you can. We all have free will, but please don't use the name of Islam to do certain things, because this is not Islamic. I don't know why no one talks about it, but if you apply your logical thinking and your critical mind, it's so clear and obvious. Please drop a comment below. What do you think about secret second marriage, and if you think it's Islamic or not Islamic, and why? Explain why. Because I am very inquisitive and I need to know, why do you think it is Islamic?
Do you want to be wife number 2, 3, or even 4? They love quoting the verse about marrying 4 wives, don't they? But they never quote the part about justice, because if they did, they would know it's not a privilege, it's a responsibility. And most of them are failing the first one. Polygyny was never meant to be a playground for male desire. It was revealed to protect women, especially widows and orphans in vulnerable times. It came with very strict conditions: equal time, equal treatment, equal provision, and emotional responsibility. And if you can't do that, the Quran literally says, then marry only one. Islam didn't just give men the right to marry. It gave women the right to be loved, respected, and prioritized. You have the right to be treated with fairness, the right to walk away from deception, the right to choose the life that honors your dignity. So no, sis, you're not a bad Muslim for setting boundaries. You're not weak for wanting to be the only wife. You're within your Islamic rights to say, I want a man who wants only me. Because being a man in Islam isn't about how many women you can marry. It's about how well you fulfill the rights of the one who already gave you her heart.
Islam gives women so many rights that people even today struggle to accept them. If you want to practice polygamy and use your right, sure, go ahead. Most people don't have such a big problem with polygamy, but what we have problems with is misusing Islam to cover your deceit, your ego, and control. So before you say, it's my right, ask yourself, are you ready to fulfill the responsibilities that come with it? Because now your wife knows her rights. And subscribe to Unfiltered with Angie, where we don't sugarcoat anything, not even religion.